Did you turn the microphone on?
It's been a while. That's what they're recording now.
Glad we weren't recording that.
Jesus.
Who's our producer? Edit that out.
Yeah. No. Okay. All right. We're live.
All right.
So it's been a while. It's
Yeah.
been, if you remember, I didn't think about it so long ago. It's been before Christmas.
Yeah.
At your house.
And then you and Lance did one.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea what number this is.
I think it's number 4 or 5.
That seems about right. Because
We've done 2. Yeah, this is 5. Because you did the
Happy Family one.
Yeah, the words that I didn't know any of them, and
Yeah.
Grafton and Cooper did.
Lance is excited to do. He started spitting out words the other day that from the 80s or like Generation X kind of stuff that I didn't recognize either. I barely remember my name.
All right. So before we get started, we're
Yes.
swapping up the routine, right? We're going.
Yeah.
We're drinking while we're doing the podcast this time.
Just looking for a better result. And we have Chuck's, the Macallan. It's the Macallan.
Yeah. It's only the 12-year though. If you get any higher than that, I gotta
There's bank loans involved.
Yeah, I gotta
Okay.
rob somebody.
And then Buddy brought the cheapo $38.95 Jefferson's bourbon, straight bourbon whiskey. Never had it before. Have you had Jefferson's?
I have. It's good.
It's good.
You'll like it.
Do you want ice? No ice?
What are you gonna do?
With this, I'm going to do the Macallan. I'm going to try it straight.
Yeah, we're gonna drink that neat.
Yeah.
We might drop an ice cube in the Jefferson.
That's right. This is only $39. And I bought 2 glasses for each of us so we wouldn't have to
No
contaminate.
mixing
No mix.
while I'm drinking my Red Bull over here in my Yeti. Nice. And
It smells good already.
we did say we were gonna stick to bourbons, but
This is a special scotch. It's not
Yeah.
just any run of the mill.
I think I told you grandfather's been having a rough go of it.
I meant to ask you how he was doing since you've been
Hanging in there.
slipping in liquor to him on the low.
He's doing better than the Braves. Like that. But this is in honor of Dempsey Logue. We're gonna try the scotch because he's a big scotch guy.
All right. I have a Jack Daniel's glass.
No judgment.
That is different from Dewar's. It's got almost like a weird, sweet end to it.
It's not quite as smoky as most of your scotches.
Yeah, it's different. The higher end stuff always a little more mellow.
Obviously, it doesn't taste like you're drinking gasoline.
That's right.
There's not much burn there. But
Good.
I said we weren't going to do like the hints of anything, but there
No.
are some. As you're drinking it, you're like, there's something kind of in there. But
There's something different at the end of it.
yeah,
It's good though. What's that bottle cost, you think?
I think it's
It's a fifth.
like 100 somewhere, a little bit over 100. Now, if you get like the I think there's 15 and 25. The 15 is like what I assume heaven tastes like. So I don't know what the 25 is. Like the VIP room in heaven where the Holy Trinity's hanging out.
That was a good one.
That is good. I like it neat too. I think it's the first time I've had it neat. I usually drop an ice cube and my grandfather will probably kill me if he hears that. But
Yeah. No, that's exceptionally smooth. Yeah, you're the one that got me drinking scotch from the last podcast we did. And I bought several bottles of Dewar's, and I bought most of them. Not Jack. What's it called? Johnny Walker.
Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
What do you prefer, Dewar's or Johnny?
It's close, really, to me. I like the bottle that Johnny comes in, but Dewar's is probably it's good. I mean, it's good enough for sure.
I got another bottle of Dewar's I need to give you. I don't. They just keep showing up. I don't know where they come from. But, all right.
All right, so I think we had topics,
Yeah.
and one common one was
Well, I'm going to lead off with your
okay, good.
picture of the copper wire with not Cooper spray paint next to it. So epic fail. I don't know where that is.
I don't either.
It's on social media somewhere because there's a little fun thing to like it, but
But Cooper, it's not Cooper.
for a completely audio, we don't have any video yet. People
Yeah.
are really going to appreciate my picture that we're discussing that they can't see. It's just a spool of cable that says not Cooper next to it. I think they meant copper.
I think so. But your son being named Cooper, I sent it to you.
My phone,
No, well, it's not Cooper.
my personal phone,
Yeah.
autocorrects copper to Cooper every time.
Oh, because you type Cooper soft.
Yeah, it's because I type Cooper so often.
Damn it, Cooper. Does it create?
Yeah.
Does it just it's correct it to damn it, Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So,
So yeah, I think we had a lot of topics because it's been 6 months. But the one common topic we had was the California Atlantic,
yeah.
the woes and drama of California Atlantic, and we're going to do two. We're going to do one before the outage, and then we was going to do one after. We never made the one before, so we can just bitch about the whole thing now that it's technically not over because the whole mill's not running, but
Looks like we're getting closer.
we're getting closer.
I think I saw we were getting closer to 2,000 tons a day
Yep.
without being really specific about what we do, so we don't get calls from HR about getting approval to talk about work on our podcast. But
Yeah, it's a secret code no one will ever crack.
yeah, no one knows
No one
what
knows.
company California Atlantic is.
It had to be some sort of.
I mean, I barely remember when I talk about it.
And we just left.
So my feeling is
What's your state of the union right now?
we're in this like purgatory. We're not advancing to heaven. We're not advancing to hell. We're just kind of not doing anything. And I think there's leadership shakeups coming. But I think the biggest issue that we have at our local facility is you have a lot of people, and I don't mean a lot of like high numbers of people, but you have the people that are running the mill. So let's say 10 to 12 of them, right? That's probably an accurate number. They're the decision makers.
Yeah, you're talking about locally.
Yeah.
People actually have to address. Yeah.
They've got nothing in the game. Whereas in the past, your leadership team, even though you had people that came here from other facilities, they were here. They were in the community. They'd been here for a while before they got up to like an operations or a maintenance leadership role. And even the mill managers were all from around the area. And now they're not. They're all immigrants. That's probably not the right term,
No.
especially not in 2025
They're not illegal immigrants.
that we know.
Yeah, that we know of.
But
So
so I think not having a connection to the
Yeah.
community, you're this outsider, you're going to come in, you're going to fix everything. And, you've been doing this a few years longer than I have, but I've worked for two major companies and I've seen the amount of time and effort it takes to get a culture change. And it's not snap your fingers and it happens. It's usually 3 to 5 years. And I don't think we're basically in year 5 of being run by a corporate entity. And it hasn't really gotten any better there's little things that have gotten better, but overall it just hasn't taken the step forward. And there's probably a laundry list of things that we could point out. Operators have retired. Those are kind of your boots on the ground. They know the equipment. They know how things should run. They know how things should sound. And we've hired a bunch of people that are new off the street. And they just don't have that experience. We have people in roles that, on the paper machines, you had people that it took them 25 years to become a back tender. And now you got people that are 7, 8 years back tender. So they just don't have the experience. And I think that's what drives some of the issue. Well, a lot of the issues that we have.
yeah,
There's.
yeah, I don't understand. I think the people that are, it's not a malicious intent sort of thing. They're just new and they're trying to, that the culture that is currently there, and kind of gives people the incentive to It's like being president 100 days in office. That first 100 days is the most important. So they got to come in swinging instead of just trying to, grow something 3 to 5 years, which is a reasonable time frame. They have to make an immediate impact because we've seen you only have 6 months to a year, and then you're ghosted. Yeah. You're normally on to another job or a good job within the company, but you're going to be gone. You're not going to have that length of time to make an impact. So,
do you feel like the new manager, Billy with a B, he hasn't really stirred the pot at all? It's actually, he's the first GM, VP, whatever you want to call it, that has come in and hasn't made like wholesale changes right from the get-go. He is just observing. He's just looking. And that's what makes me feel like, well, maybe this time will be a little bit different. They've actually brought somebody in from another California Atlantic facility, as opposed to kind of an outsider or a corporate hired gun. Yeah. So
at least someone that's familiar with the process.
But he hasn't changed anything quite yet. He's trying to see how it goes before he's like, okay, we're going to make tweaks here. We're going to make tweaks here. So we've all kind of been under the assumption that once the mill gets to a somewhat stable operation, that's when the changes are going to start coming. And we've already kind of seen some small personnel changes, but
there's some hints. Yeah. And I don't know how much they'll be, and I don't know what they will be. Nobody does, but I guess somebody does, but nobody's talking just yet. But yeah, I agree. I think that the latest Billy with a B, he's, and honestly, I haven't seen anybody come in that's really turned me off, but he does. I agree with his philosophy so far, the way he behaves. He is kind of just monitoring the situation, seeing how closely, I don't know. It's hard to say. Time will tell. But yeah, he's not coming in with a hatchet right away and just making his own changes. This worked wherever I was at. He understands this is a different place with different people that, take some thought.
If I was him, the first thing I would do is I would ask one of the planners, like from the get-go.
You have somebody in mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
The electrical planner that goes by the name Goose. He's gone.
He's served his purpose. It's time for him to move on. Goose and I had an interesting conversation before I left. He was comp time wasn't where he thought it should be. So you have to ask Goose about that tomorrow.
I think Goose should just go up front and take his shirt off and start slamming desks. He's a big guy. He's intimidating.
Yeah, I know.
And he's a super nice guy.
Thank God.
Just imagine if Goose had the attitude that I had. If there would be like holes in, well, there are holes in his office from me. Got to work on opening that door softer.
You're just trying to create some ventilation since the air conditioner's been out for 2 weeks. No, I agree. I think we're hopefully in a holding pattern, maybe making some progress. We have a good business. It's in demand, what we make. We just got to be able to make it. We'll see what the changes bring.
Do you think if we just cut out the corporate entity altogether, said, hey guys, you know what? Give us 18 months. You've been running the show since 2019. It obviously hasn't produced the results that anybody wants. Give this guy, Billy with a B, 18 months. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
If in 18 months we haven't made any progress, go from there. But going back to all of the people that come in from the outside, I think when you come in from the outside, you said it, like your first 100 days, you want to kind of come in there and this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. And I think a lot of them don't understand the issues. And I'm not talking about culturally. Like there's obviously always things that you can do with people to improve, morale, pay, whatever, just talent. Maybe you don't have the right talent. But I think a lot of them come in and they don't understand what the big issues are. And to be honest with you, I don't think we do. I don't think we do a good job of sitting down and saying, hey, here's how we're going to prioritize work. And this is how we're going to prioritize getting it done. And this is how we're going to manage it. And I just don't think we do a good job of that. I think it's like we talk about it and then we're like, all right, let's do it. And we go back to our offices and it's like,
Your phone's
Sorry.
ringing, and
I need to weld some chain to a wedge. Can you plan that for me? I think you just did. It's just,
we're done here.
you know, like that's
Yeah, I think our department leader did a good job. Although now he's moving on to another role of identifying what our roles and our RREs are. Is that a California Atlantic specific acronym?
I don't think so.
But he did a good job of that, identifying what our role was. But it either didn't get communicated to the rest of the mill, or it did in some departments, not in others, because your job and my job are wildly different to be the same title. But I don't know that's the whole mill-wide culture, communication piece. It's hard to close, and we've got to do it. So
As soon as we figure out how to commute everything else, like we do the food truck schedule,
it's
we will be cruising.
it's amazing.
Like I just can't comprehend.
It's just an email.
Yes. And when we try to copy said email from an operational or maintenance standpoint, we just muck it up.
Oh yeah,
There's
but
way too much information.
Yeah.
Not enough of the right information. And we still don't have like a daily, like, hey guys, here's our main priority for the day. If you're not working on something that helps
this right.
there is something very wrong. And again, you've got three major departments, and Department A doesn't necessarily do anything that contributes to Department C, but there's still when you have your team meetings, it should be like, okay, Department C is struggling with this. So what we're going to do is this, this, and this, and that'll help them out a little bit, but it'll also allow us to pick up some work that we really need to get done since we're not going to be running full rate. And I don't think that gets communicated effectively, or it's like that old game of telephone.
Yeah.
They leave the leadership room, and then those guys go tell their direct reports, and those direct reports get told. And in the leadership meeting, it was today is Taco Tuesday. And by the time it gets to the operators, it's, Tamale Thursday. So it's not even the right day. Forget the food.
Well, it took a couple of days to get the message out.
Yeah.
Well, I think, having attended some of those early morning meetings in my past role, they do, at a high level, talk about what's going on that day. But in our roles, I'm not sure if we'd be in that loop or not anyway. I hope, and I think you're right, though. I don't think it gets communicated well, even where it should be. But maybe we should be part of it. I mean, are you in your area specifically is involved in day-to-day stuff that you should not be involved with? The fact that you don't know what's going on unless somebody needs something, that's probably not your role anyway. You don't know what's going on. So yeah, I think there should be, that'd be good. I've never really given that much thought, but that is something that's, at least the core group of people that are in day-to-day operations and maintenance should be involved with that discussion, or get the quick paragraph that's what we're working on today.
Because when you think about it, like when something in utilities goes bad, how does that affect the next department?
Right.
How does that affect the next department? Well, what is that middle department doing to help take some of the pressure off of utilities? And then what's that third department doing to help take some pressure off of that middle department so that there's less stress, or is this other department like, give a shit what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Run it wide open. And then
I think I see that more.
2 hours later, this one's taking a crap, and it's like, well, we can't run because we don't have this. Well, you guys increased your rate instead of slowing back. And I do think that, going back to our communication piece, that there's not they try to use instant messaging as the
Yes.
form of communication, and maybe that works better because everybody's, I know it's definitely better than a SharePoint because I'm not logging into a SharePoint to see what somebody typed.
But you also get hammered so often with those that it becomes noise, background noise, and you don't pay attention to the right one. So there's that option anyway.
That is good scotch.
That's good. Quit bringing good shit over here. I'm going to be broke. I got to have,
I got some Evan Williams right next here.
that's what they
Start a fire.
$27 for a gallon.
For sure. Gas, just put it in your tank. So before we completely um, get away from the work environment,
Yeah.
I was driving from the island the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I passed your old workplace, and it's almost completely gone.
Yeah. It's one building, I think.
So how long did you work there?
20, almost 25 years.
Do you have any kind of emotional, like when you drive by and
Yeah.
you're like, man, that
Yeah.
place
You can't help it. Yeah. I know.
fed my family,
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, you make so many friends, and
and it seems like in a year and a half they completely just
it's
like it
most,
just didn't exist.
that was the most impressive thing that companies ever did was, dismantle that.
Is that a super fun site? Is it
It would
gonna?
almost have to be, I think, because everything discharged from there was a Superfund site. So I would assume that that's going to be too. We actually talked about that this morning. What could they do with it? And I'm not sure. I'm no, environmental lawyer for sure, but I'm thinking, the car lot on the spur right there has the big mound behind it. That's dirt that was hauled out of that location sometime in the past, and the material it's got to get to where it's not. If you can encase it in concrete and put it in the ground, it's kind of stable. So they may do something out there. They could possibly do something with that and make it just a big commercial, or I don't know. It could be residential. I don't like to say. I don't really know, but it's a good. It's 150 acres, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn it into a state prison. I mean, because we're really not concerned
People
about
that are coming off the island would not appreciate that at all. They hated the stack being there.
So if you were a criminal, though, would that be the prison you want to go to? Because you'd probably have like the best views.
You could probably see your mama from way back the windows. It's not in the best section of town, but yeah, it could be a good spot for a prison or any. I don't know which.
Would it turn into that mayor of Kingstown where people are just throwing stuff over the sides? And,
Blowing people up. Possibly it's surrounded by government housing. I don't know what you could do with it. The conversation was today, maybe some sort of I don't know, a racetrack. It's 150 acres. I mean, it's a sizable piece of property. We didn't use much of it when we were our plant out there. So
I don't know. I mean, you said residential, but then you'd have to be worried about water and
yeah,
groundwater and whatever else that goes on out there.
and they've already paid out those people that live around it. Millions of dollars over the last 20, 30 years. So
And I'm sure the people of the island are gonna, veto anything that they find, that doesn't.
it's an interesting conversation though, because I really nobody seems to know what they can or what they would want to do with it. I mean, it's a great location in a sense. You're right off the causeway. It's on a major highway, but you are surrounded by low income government housing, which has its own issues. But you can't. You're not going to build $1 million houses in there for sure. Hotels behind it are crime scenes most of the time. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, to your first question, yeah, it does. I think everybody that worked there for any length of time, it kind of.
Could it become like a ground for like maybe one of those great late 80, early 90 movies, like the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where he was trying to be Cajun?
I'm not going to know this movie. He's trying to be Cajun? Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah. What was that when he was?
They already spoke English anyway.
He there was a group of guys that were chasing him, hunting him.
Okay, that's every Jean-Claude movie.
Yeah, but they were.
It was in New Orleans.
Yeah, it was New Orleans. It's the one where he punches the rattlesnake and knocks it out.
Well, now I want to see it.
Okay, now I got to find this one. The other movie I was thinking about was, I think, Surviving the Game with Ice-T. Did you see that one? That actually it was a B movie at the time, but when you look at the cast now,
Are they hunting him like
Yeah.
game hunting? Yeah, I do remember that. I don't think I saw it.
yeah, I think it was based off of that old, what was that old book?
There's a Stephen King. No,
The Most
is
Dangerous
Michael
Game.
Douglas in it too, by chance? I'm
No.
misremembering.
No, this
There was
was,
another game movie that he was in.
yeah. This one, when you look at, I can't remember if it was like late 80s or early 90s, but when you look at the cast now, you're like, damn, that was actually, like if they made that movie in the mid 2000s, all of those guys were pretty big actors.
Yeah.
It was
It probably cost too much money.
Rutger
Rutger Hauer.
Hauer, He was in it.
See, I know somebody.
John C. McGinley, the doctor from Scrubs. Did you watch Scrubs?
Yes. The
doctor
He's
that
been a-
called
yeah.
JD the girl names.
That's right.
He's been in a hundred
Ton of
movies.
shit. Yeah.
Murray F. Abraham,
Yep.
he was in it. Charles S. Dutton, big black guy.
Oh, yeah. Rock. From
Yeah.
the show Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, it was much better. This is
Ice-T.
Ice-T. Yeah.
He somehow managed his way into that. I think this was pre. What show is he in? Is he in NYPD Blue? Is that what he is?
No, what
The
is
other
it?
one.
I want to say LA Law, but it's not. It's one of those shows at 8 NBC, though. It's the
Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Yeah.
One of those 40 Law and Orders.
Because he was in it with the dude that always wore the sunglasses.
Yeah. Oh, really? The redheaded guy?
No,
But not CSI Miami.
he had his own little talk show, Richard Belcher.
I know Richard Belcher. I know the name.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
He was in.
He was a comedian, too, I bet.
Yeah. Let's see. Hard Target,
Hard Target.
1993. Yeah, it had the Lance Hankerson. Do you know who that is?
That one.
Yeah, if you saw him, you'd know who he is. Remember the Mummy movies?
The ones with The Rock? No.
No, the one with 90s guy that was that guy from Alien.
Oh, yeah.
He was the main bad guy, but the mummy, the guy that played the mummy in the Brendan Fraser ones,
Yep. Brendan Fraser.
the bald guy
Yeah.
that looks like Goose,
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
he's in it. He's actually South African. He's not
Really?
Egyptian, which really,
That's not the guy from Titanic, is it?
no, that's
The mean guy?
Billy Zane,
Okay.
guy from Sniper. But it had a couple of professional wrestlers in Hard Target.
Ric Flair, that level, or was it?
No. Oh god. It had Walter Brimley, who also had a severe Cajun accent in that movie. The guy from The Firm, the security, Wilford Brimley.
Yeah. Diabetes dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in it. He was Cajun.
Oh, really?
Made moonshine the entire movie.
I just recently saw a meme with him in it. And it was people that were a certain age when they filmed it. Like Archie Bunker was the character, Carol O'Connor. The guy, Carol O'Connor, was like in his 40s, late 40s when he made that show. They compared him to Tom Cruise today, which is 62 and looks like he's 42. People got old quicker back in the day. Because Wilford Brimley's been old. He's always been old. What you got there?
Here we go. This is a Hard Target. This is how you knock out a rattlesnake.
Look at to watch it.
Of course I do.
Close your eyes.
Wow, that's.
Where is the Rolls?
Why do you want me to trust you? My eyes closed.
I think it's on her shoulder.
Oh, she doesn't know it.
Yeah. I really need to narrate because if you're just listening to this,
It's not porn. It's Jean-Claude with long hair.
Yeah.
That's not real clean. Oh, yeah. And there's a rattlesnake creeping over her shoulder. He grabs it by the neck. He holds it. She looks down. Her eyes get big. He's dragging it across her shoulder towards him.
The rattlesnake.
Yes, the rattlesnake. Then he smacks it on top of the head. Then he punches it. And
it goes to sleep. Is that a Cajun accent or is that still a Belgian accent?
Oh, they just bit the rattle off of it. I think it's still, yeah, he's still muscles from Brussels.
So apparently you can knock a rattlesnake out, pull its rattle
Yeah.
out from it. It won't wake up. And then later in the movie, these poor guys that are chasing Jean-Claude Van Damme come across this rattlesnake and it bites one of them in the throat. I think it was
But he couldn't have warned them because his rattle was gone.
right. Exactly. And
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
it's right up there with Cobra.
Yeah.
You need to put that on your list to watch one night. Just
when I'm really have nothing else to do.
Tammy's gonna be like, you gotta stop.
I'm not watching this.
Chuck guy. These movies are terrible.
I don't know. Well, California Atlantic is. We'll keep you updated. All 17 of you on what's going on out there. Are we cautiously optimistic? Is that where you are? Okay.
Yeah, I guess. Since we're talking about movies, though, you want to roll into
If you got some,
almost learn something? So
Yeah.
that is.
that is the name of the podcast.
So I sent this to you in 1993 or 94. The movies for Best Picture, Oscar.
Yes, that's right.
The winner, Forrest Gump, which, I mean, I don't think anyone's going to argue. That's
Great movie.
a great movie. Still, if you watch it today, great movie.
Yeah.
Have your kids seen Forrest Gump?
Oh yeah.
Showed it to my kids like a month or two back, and
Were they impressed?
no.
Well, I have two girls. It's a different audience for sure.
But other movies in that category that year. Pulp Fiction,
Yes.
Shawshank Redemption. I'm a little bit perturbed that Forrest Gump won.
Was there another one though?
That's what I'm pulling
Oh.
up right now. Let's see. Was it 94 or 93?
Oh shoot, I don't know. I thought there was another movie that was kind of a sleeper cult kind of movie that became bigger afterwards.
93. Huh?
'94.
94?
Yep.
Was it?
That's what it says on IMDb.
Because I'm showing.
Comedy romance.
So it wasn't Best Picture, it was Best Comedy Romance.
Well, let's see.
Rom-com.
It won Academy Award for Best Actor in a Leading Role, Academy Award for Best Picture.
Oscars. Because, see, it shows. '95.
Oh, okay, year after.
All right. Because Tom Hanks actually won it for Philadelphia in '94. That's
94, yeah. 94 was Schindler's List.
so '95 Oscars was
Okay.
'94. So it's like the Super Bowl, right? If you won the 2005 Super Bowl,
Yeah,
it was
right,
for the
right.
2004 season. So Four Weddings and a Funeral.
Oh my God.
I can't
I saw that too. Quiz show.
Good show. That was pretty good. Did you see that?
No.
That had
Robert Redford.
I think it had Ralph Fiennes. Was
Yeah, the Ralph Fiennes is the ones I was thinking about.
but Shawshank Redemption and Pulp Fiction. And I know Pulp Fiction was kind of a
Yeah, it's kind of a cool movie. I would have. Shawshank's hard to beat though.
Yeah, so that was my main problem.
Yeah.
Was Shawshank Redemption might be the top 5 movie of all time.
Yeah.
You know,
Forrest Gump was good. It was entertaining. Forrest Gump
Yeah.
is, there was no, you don't get, you're not wringing your hands throughout the movie like Shawshank. You're kind of, there's nerve wracking parts of it. It's a stressful kind of movie, some parts of it anyway, but
but
it's
here's my
very
problem is you allow Forrest Gump to win the Oscars in 1995, and since 2005, it's just been this weird collection of they're like, well, it's not necessarily the most popular movie, it's the best picture. And it's like Roma, it won Best Picture a few years ago. It's completely subtitled. It's all in Italian.
Nobody's watching it.
I'm like, it's fine for it to win Best Foreign Picture.
That's right.
And the cinematography was great. So it's, if you
Yeah.
want to give it an Oscar for that, how is that winning? But like, if there's an Italian Oscars, have at it. Best
Yeah.
Picture. But in the US, and it's like they've leaned into this, but it's not necessarily the most popular movie. It's the movie we think is the best picture. And
It's the artsy. Well, that's one of those.
and then they did it, and then like the year that Chadwick Boseman died,
Yeah,
Black Panther,
Yeah.
and it was like,
a superhero movie.
really?
Exactly.
You know,
Well,
I have no problem with them throwing him in there posthumously. He is a wonderful,
Oh yeah, he was good.
Yeah.
I never saw Black Panther, but he was in good.
fantastic in 42.
42. Yeah, that's where I remember him.
Um,
Yeah, but
he's been in a bunch of movies I've seen where I was like, damn, I didn't know he was in that.
yeah,
And he's very,
He was
very
everywhere.
good actor.
but that movie wasn't Oscar.
Oh,
It's not an Oscar movie, but that's when you have an Academy instead of like Golden Globes. I think is fan driven kind of. That's what ends up paying the bills, right? I mean, the movies that perform the best are going to be the best
if
movies.
you would have followed this practice of, okay, Forrest Gump won Best Picture, then Black Panther winning Best Picture would have been, I would have
That's
been
right.
like, yeah, probably
No
was the
surprise.
best Marvel movie that came out that year. And, you know, it probably made the most at the box office. Like Titanic, you know, everybody's like, well, I mean, that was just how it was shot and everything.
Well, Shawshank was a big movie. I mean, it was a Stephen King book, and it just got a little outclassed by Tom Hanks, and that it was a great movie. I mean, I have no argument about like say whichever one won, but the fact that Four Weddings and a Funeral was nominated was a little surprising. But
Yeah, that was a terrible movie. And it's not that it was, it still is a terrible movie.
it's held up over time. It's still horrible.
So let's see. Winners and nominees. Here we go. This is what I was going to go through. Oh my God, they started. Does Wikipedia allow you to, yes, no.
Did you get on the Wi-Fi, or is it
Yeah.
working?
It starts from the beginning of time. So let's just see if you've seen any of these.
Okay.
Um,
No.
the 2024. So I guess this one, I don't know who won. It doesn't have who won this one. Dune Part 2. I've seen that. Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here. Nickel Boys, The Substance, Wicked.
I heard of Wicked. I've heard of Dune. Seen neither.
Oh, wait a minute. There was a pile of nominees. Conclave, A Complete Unknown, The Brutalist, Anora. And Anora won.
I've heard of The Brutalist. Of course, I haven't. I wanted to watch A Complete Unknown, but I have not seen it yet.
So I've seen Conclave, I've seen Dune. I knew what The Brutalist is because they use CGI to modify the guy from The Pianist. What's his name?
Yeah, Big Nose.
Big Nose. Not that there's anything wrong with Big Nose. That's just how we're identifying
That's
it.
from
Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody, little skinny guy.
Yeah, they use CGI to have a more
Really?
whatever accent he had in the movie. They use CGI to thicken it up.
So is it a sequel to that movie?
No,
Well,
no.
they're just based upon that character.
So here's 2023. The Zone of Interest, never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Poor Things, never heard of it. Past Lives, never heard of it. Maestro. That was Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, dressed up as.
He also had a big nose.
Yeah.
Prosthetic.
No,
Who was the guy that he played? Something Steen. I know that's going to come across as not.
well, you already said that. He said big. What was that? He was gay too, wasn't he? Or he's like secretly gay, closeted gay.
Was he gay or was he bi?
I don't know.
was
I never
married.
watched the movie. Oh well, he was playing the part then.
He was the famous composer.
Yeah, I know.
And you and me are not guys that
They're
could list composers.
I would
Beethoven,
recognize the name. Yeah,
Mozart,
I'd recognize the name.
Chopin.
I'm not gonna remember it.
But moving on. Killers of the Flower Moon.
That was decent.
That's
Leonardo.
Scorsese. I haven't seen it yet, but
No.
I will. The Holdovers. That had I think it's Paul Giamatti, but it's
Oh,
like
like him.
it's like prep school where the kids stay over for the holidays because they don't have Their families
Oh,
don't.
I did see that movie. Tammy made me watch it, or Tammy watched it, and I watched it with
I heard
her.
it was good. I haven't watched
Heard
it,
it's
but
pretty
I will
good.
watch that. Barbie.
No, I'd have. Well, to be fair, I have not watched the movie.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah. Save yourself the hour and whatever.
I kind of had high hopes for it because I'm a sort of a Ryan Gosling fan. He's usually kind of funny in his movies. I don't know if he.
Yeah, he's hilarious. And Margot
Okay.
Robbie is too, but it's
still a Barbie movie.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah. And
And I'll fall on the sword here. I'll take the only reason it was Best Picture is because it was some kind of woman empowerment thing.
Yeah.
But I don't. Okay,
it still doesn't make it entertaining.
you know.
Yeah, that's the key to the movie. The best movie has to be entertaining.
Yeah, I don't think Iron Jaw Angels was an Oscar movie.
Was that a nominee?
Do you remember that movie?
I've never heard of that movie in my life. That
Yeah.
was 2023?
No, Hilary Swank was in this.
Oh.
It was about the suffrage movement in America.
Okay.
But and see, I'm not a complete ape. But it was because it was 15 years ago, and they were like, "Oh, it's a good movie, but it's not an Oscar."
Well, yeah. But now,
Anatomy of a Fall, I don't know,
I don't remember that.
American Fiction, Oppenheimer, which won. And
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Oppenheimer was a good
It's a
movie.
good movie.
I'm a history freak, though. 2022, Women Talking, Triangle of Sadness, Top Gun Maverick. Hey, Tar. I watched Tar with my wife. That was
Is that a sequel to Mud?
who's the Australian actress, Kate Blanchett.
Oh, yeah.
She's a composer, and it's like very psychological. She has this great gig in Berlin and ends up losing it and becomes like the maestro. Yeah. Okay. The Fablemans, never heard of it. Elvis, the kid that played Elvis did a wonderful job.
Austin Butler.
The Banshees of Inisherin, I think that's how you say it. I watched it because I'm Irish, and I love.
Are you Irish?
Yeah.
Like majority of Irish?
Yep. Families from Galway, but it had Brendan Gleeson.
The name sounds familiar.
He's
Probably recognize his face.
big guy, red hair. He's been in 1,000 movies. He was in Braveheart, like he was the Mel Gibson's buddy, the big redheaded guy with the beard. His dad was the one they cut his arm off in. Remember? Or he got his arm
I did
smashed.
see that movie, but it's been a while.
He's been The Village. Did you see The Village?
No.
With
Is that M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
he was one of the elder village guys. He has a son that's in a bunch of stuff now, Dominic Gleeson. But if you,
I'm
we've got our phones,
sort of holding my phone, asking who the hell it
computer
is.
in our hand. Brendan Gleeson. And the Google is taking its time. That guy.
Yes, he was in a
He played Donald Trump in that
Did
Trump movie. Yeah.
Mr. Mercedes. Did you watch that? That warped up shit.
So he was in this great movie back in the day. It's kind of a cult movie, In Bruges, with Colin Farrell. They're both hitmen.
And they hate each other. Oh, they're with Hitman.
Yeah, they're hitmen, and the Banshees of Inisherin is the one
That's
that
what.
hate each
Yeah.
other.
All of a sudden, he hates him.
Yeah, they're best friends, and all of a sudden he's like, "Don't come around. I'm gonna cut my hand off." And Colin Farrell can't understand why he
He
doesn't
has
like
no
him
idea what
anymore.
happened.
Judas and the Black Messiah. I think I know what that's about.
He was also on my. I'm a Tom Cruise fan anyway, but
Mission Impossible.
he was also in the other. What's the one with the him and Emily Blunt's, and it's the same day keeps resetting.
Oh,
He's the.
it's got two names.
It does have two names.
Edge of Tomorrow, and
Yeah.
then it's something else.
Rinse, wash, rinse, rinse, and repeat, or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
He was the NATO general.
Yeah, that's right.
Something in that. All right, and then 2019, you had Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was good.
Very good.
1917. Did you see that? The World War I movie
No.
where the kid is racing across the countryside to send a message.
Okay.
And then Avatar, Way of the Water, All Quiet on the Western Front, which again, it's completely subtitled. Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Did you ever see that? That's with the Asian lady, right? Or
Yeah. That's the one with the shorty from the Indiana Jones movie.
Oh, okay. I never saw it.
Short Stack. The one with, not Temple of Doom, but maybe it was Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it was one of the earlier ones.
It wasn't the one with Sean Connery.
No, it was before that.
There was three, right? There was the
There was one
Ark,
with Shia LaBeouf in it or something. But
Ark of the Covenant.
yeah, I don't remember that.
Maybe it was Temple of Doom.
I remember the guy though.
It was one of the three original, and it wasn't the one where the Nazis
That
and
was
Sean Connery, but there was another Nazi one. That was the
early on. There was another. Yeah, that was one of the
I
first.
think maybe it
ones.
was the Temple of Doom one. But, and then you get into 2021, West Side Story, The Power of the Dog, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, King Richard.
Nope.
That's the one Will Smith won when he Chris Rock. Dune, I've seen that. Drive My Car, no. Don't Look Up. I mean, how did Don't Look Up get Best
That
Picture?
is.
I love Adam McKay, but come on.
It's kind of silly.
And Coda won. Hey, have you seen Coda?
Hmm.
Maybe I should just quiz you. How many Best Pictures you've seen? Try
It's going to be
Chicago
less than
7.
10.
Sound of Metal.
No.
That one's actually pretty good. That's got the he's been in a pile of shit too. He's British, but he's got a Indian name, or maybe Pakistani. Little tiny guy. Roz something.
No.
If I showed you a picture of him, you'd be like, "Ah, I know who he is." But he's a drummer who goes deaf, and he gets like one of those implants.
Oh yeah.
Goes
pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty. He like learns sign language and that kind of stuff.
They should make a movie around Def Leppard's jumper that lost his arm.
Yeah.
It's even more impressive.
And then where did we go? Yeah, 2019. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. 1917. Marriage Story. Little Women. Joker. Which the first Joker with what's his face was pretty good.
Yeah, it was kind of dark, but it was good.
Jojo Rabbit. No idea. The Irishman. Ford
It was good. It was long.
Ford versus Ferrari.
That was good.
That was good. Parasite. That was
What year is this?
2019.
Oh wow.
In 2018, Vice. That's an Adam McKay movie that I would be okay with being
Yeah.
Best Picture. A Star is Born.
Oh damn, these are all
Roma. The Favorite. Bohemian Rhapsody. Black Klansman. Black Panther. And Green Book one.
I like Green Book.
2017, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Great movie.
Oh, that's well, yeah, that's a great movie. I watched it a couple times actually.
Yeah, that's got Francis
Yeah.
McDormand, something. Woody Harrelson.
Sam Rockwell. Was always good.
The Post. Phantom Thread. Lady Bird.
Tammy watched Lady Bird. She likes that girl.
Get Out. Dunkirk. Love Dunkirk. Dunkirk is the Christopher Nolan. He's the one that did 1917.
Okay. Yeah, it's a war movie too, right? With
Yeah.
the planes.
Yeah.
I think I watched most of it.
Call Me by Your Name.
I don't know what that is.
The Shape of Water one. Guillermo del Toro. He does like the weird dark movies. Then 2016, Manchester by the Sea, Lion, La La Land, Hidden Figures, Hell or High Water.
That was a good movie.
I think Hell or High Water was that the one with
Chris Pine.
yeah,
And,
great movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Jeff Bridges was in it.
Yeah.
Like all the people from Yellowstone.
Yeah.
Gil, the Native American guy, he was in it because he was one of the Texas Rangers with Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. He was in something.
And then the little, I call him the little guy, but he's a little redheaded guy that he's in freaking everything. And
he
he's,
played his brother?
yeah.
Yeah.
Moonlight one. Was that the year that Moonlight and Fences, they announced the wrong winner or something?
Oh,
La La Land or
for
something.
that.
But each year as you go down, more and more movies become familiar.
Yeah, the new ones, I have no idea what you're talking about.
So 2015, Room, don't know what that is. The Revenant, that was the
Oh,
Good one with
DiCaprio.
yeah. The Martian, that was good.
That was really good. That's my
Mad
favorite.
Max Fury Road,
What one?
Spotlight.
Let's see.
That was the
Oh, that was
Catholic.
That was good
Yeah.
though.
It was a good movie. Yeah. The Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn. But see, I knew all but two in that year.
I knew a lot of those.
2014, Whiplash. Excellent movie. The Theory of Everything. I think that's the one about the British guy that's always sitting down.
Yeah, that's right. He used to be now. He's dead.
Oh. Fuck, he just doesn't stand up.
We can't see.
He's super smart. Just always rolling around telling everybody everything about space. Selma. The Imitation Game. That was the good one. World War II movie about the dude that invented the computer. Oh God, I can't believe I can't remember his name. But
I can't
he was gay, and he was the one that invented the computer that decoded the Enigma machine, and that's how the Allies were able to steal German messages. And he his reward for that was he was chemically castrated by the English government.
Good for him.
Boyhood, I think, isn't that the movie that was like filmed over like 12 years? Because it was like the same kid and Ethan Hawke was the father, I think.
Good Lord. No, I don't
American Sniper with Bradley Cooper.
No, that was good.
Bradley Cooper's like in every best movie category.
He gets nominated a lot.
And Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. Phenomenal movie. I loved it. I love
like
Michael
Michael
Keaton.
Yeah. I never saw it.
Yeah, you watch it. It's hilarious. Then the next year, Wolf of Wall Street.
That was a wild movie.
Philomena? I don't even know. That's how you say that. Nebraska. Her. Did you watch Her? That was
Oh, that's the robot. Yeah. No.
Scarlett Johansson and Joaquin Phoenix, and she's AI. Very on the nose.
I really-
13.
Before its time.
Gravity. That's Sandra Bullock. I'll watch any Sandra Bullock movie.
I hadn't seen that.
I've watched 28 Days so many times, and it's a terrible movie.
Or Speed.
Yeah. Oh God. Please. Dallas Buyers Club. Captain
That's
Phillips. American
Yes,
Hustle.
it's good.
12 Years a Slave. But you see, like, each year you get further away from 2025. Like, you start knowing all of the movies.
I know.
Zero Dark 30, Silver Linings Playbook,
And it's
Late
an
Night,
age thing. We're
No.
15, 16 years apart. So
Lincoln, Life of Pi, Django Unchained. Django Unchained was nominated for an Oscar. Phenomenal movie. Beasts of the Southern Wild. I never saw that. Argo won that year. It was a great movie. Did you watch that?
Yeah.
I think Ben Affleck directed that one.
I think he's an excellent director. I love maybe they shot him in bronzers.
Yeah. He's a terrible actor. He's a phenomenal director. War Horse. This is the next year, 2011. Tree of Life, Moneyball, Midnight in Paris, Hugo, The Help, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close.
Oh, that.
The Artist won.
Oh, let's see. They picked the crappiest movie of all of them.
Then 2010, The King's Speech won. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah, with Stutter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Swan, The Fighter, Inception, The Kids Are All Right, 127 Hours. I guess that was before he got canceled.
The
The Social Network. Toy Story 3 was an Oscar nominee.
Really?
Yeah.
What one?
The King's Speech.
Okay.
And then 2009, Up in the Air, Up, which I think was the one with the old guy and the balloons on his house.
Yes.
Precious, Inglorious Bastards.
Precious one, didn't it?
No,
I
The
didn't.
Hurt Locker in 2009.
Sure.
Right on the nose, because that movie was phenomenal. Avatar, The Blind Side, District 9 was an Oscar nominee. 2008, The Reader. And see, this is when the category was on it. Now it's like 8 or 9 movies. When you get to 2008, it's only 5. So 2008, The Reader, Milk, Frocks, Nixon, The Curious Case of Benjamin. Oh my God. We are screwed. Slumdog Millionaire won.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
2007, There Will Be Blood, Michael Clayton, Juno,
That's a good movie.
Atonement, No Country for Old Men.
Another good movie.
2006, The Queen, Little Miss Sunshine, Letters from Iwo Jima, Babel, The Departed. Departed one.
Oh, good, because that's the best one of those.
2005, Munich, Good Night and Good Luck, Capote, Brokeback Mountain, Crash. Crash one, yeah. 2004, Sideways, Ray, Finding Neverland, The Aviator, $1 Million Baby.
Million Dollar Baby one.
Yep.
See, that's not remember these.
Yeah, 2003, Seabiscuit, Mystic River, Master and Commander, Lost in Translation. Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King was your winner.
That should.
So see, in 2003, they still weren't taking themselves seriously.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings. It's not an Oscar movie.
2002, The Pianist, Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, The Hours, Gangs of New York, Chicago one. Was that the musical?
With
Richard Gere. 2001, Moulin Rouge, Lord of the Rings, In the Bedroom, Gosford Park, A Beautiful Mind, and A Beautiful Mind one. I'm good with that. 2000, oh, here you go. Traffic, Aaron Brockovich, Crouching Tiger, Chocolat, and Gladiator. And I all think we know who won that one.
Chocolat one.
Gladiator.
Gladiator one. How good.
Thank God.
Because I was wondering about that.
And then I'll just name the winners here in the 90s. American Beauty, Shakespeare in Love, Titanic, The English Patient, Braveheart, Forrest Gump, Schindler's List, and Unforgiven. I think we talked about that one before.
It's one of my faves.
Silence of the Lambs, Dances with Wolves. Then in the 80s, Driving Miss Daisy, Rain Man,
Easily, yeah.
The Last Emperor.
Don't know.
Never saw that. It beat Broadcast.
You were a
News,
child.
Fatal Attraction. I was 3. Hope and Glory and Moonstruck. 86 was Platoon. Yep. 85, Out of Africa. Sidney Pollack. The Color Purple. Kiss of the Spider Woman. Prizzy's Honor. Witness. Was Witness the one with
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford? 1984, Amadeus. Shout out Murray F. Abraham. He kills Mozart in that movie. 83, Terms of Endearment. Why do I feel like that movie terrifies me? 82, Gandhi, when doing blackface was okay. Because wasn't it the British guy, Ben Kingsley?
Kingsley,
He just tinted himself. He did exactly what Robert Downey Jr. did as a joke.
Thunder, yeah.
81 was Chariots of Fire. That's just the dudes that run on the beach in slow motion.
Yes.
80 is Ordinary People.
That's all.
Ordinary
these are
People
awful
beat
movies.
Raging Bull.
The
Elephant Man. Coal Miner's Dog.
peak of Hollywood success.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Oh, God.
I feel like I've seen The Deer Hunter. Okay, that's good. Annie Hall. Kill me. Annie Hall beat Star Wars.
That's what's his name movie in it? What's the little guy? New Yorker.
Woody.
Woody
Yeah.
Allen.
Rocky. Thank God. 76. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. 75. Godfather. Part 2 in 74. The Sting. All right. But you get the picture.
Yeah.
So,
We're circling the drain with the movies because I don't recognize any of those later ones.
it just makes me curious that now all of a sudden we're like, oh, it's about art.
No.
It's not.
Well, art is fine, but you go to the consensus of where the masses are going. That's usually the better. You want ice? Want that?
You want to try the bourbon? Let's try the bourbon.
I'll get a slice.
The girl, his partner in the Your Friends and Neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? She, like, whenever he would call, it would say George Clooney on her phone.
I think I watched like the first half of that, or 2/3 of it before I started catching up. Now we're watching an old one, Goliath. You seen that?
What's that about?
He's a lawyer. It's Billy Bob Thornton. Saw 4 seasons of it. It's pretty good too. Lance put me on it. No, that's a new one.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like bourbon.
It's good. That's good. That's better though. Of course, it's 3 times the price. Get what you pay for.
Okay, so Taylor Swift.
So what about Taylor?
I don't even know why I had this as a topic. I think because like every time I pull up the news,
It's Taylor Swift.
it's her, Travis Kelce, her getting control of her music catalog because
Oh yeah, I did see that.
she didn't have enough money. So now she's going to get more money.
Spent more of it.
She did get jobbed out of that. Whoever that guy was which
He's a genius.
I don't know that much about the music
Yeah.
business, but it sounds like this happens fairly regularly. Like you don't really, there's a lot of artists that don't own their music.
No,
Which is
because you don't
why
have
I
money
like
to start with.
The Beatles was unique because remember when iTunes came out, I was like, yes, I'm going to get Beatles songs. And they were like, no, you're
No.
not. And when they released it to iTunes, it like became the most purchased and downloaded.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because they just did the entire catalog or whatever it was. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Remember, I don't know if it's the Beatles or not. Michael Jackson owned that catalog for a while.
Yeah.
And it was pissing Paul McCartney off because
Yeah.
he didn't have the money at the time. But then
Right.
Michael lost a bunch of money and
Yeah.
Paul got a billionaire. So
So I'm not hating on her for getting her music catalog back, but I am hating on her for singing the same 18-year-old songs. And she's now coming up to be 40.
she's pushing 40.
Yeah. I mean, how many boyfriends is she going to be mad at? Like at some point, doesn't she need to look in the mirror?
That's my argument with her. So there's other female artists that are more aggressive with their songs that I enjoy more. There's
Pink.
Pink, of course, but there's another girl, young girl, Taylor's friends. Who is her? Olivia Rodrigo. Another one, Billie Eilish. They're more cutting, more aggressive. Where Taylor's just kind of complaining. They're kind of trying to kill somebody. Kind of thing. I don't know. I just enjoy that whole concept better.
I don't know anything about music. What I do know about music is I can recite the entire album of Dark Side of the Moon because it
Really?
got stuck in my CD player
Yeah.
in my Ford Ranger for about 4 years. And you can talk to my wife about
That's
it.
unfortunate.
We were dating at the time. And I don't know if kids know this or not, but Dark Side of the Moon is one of those albums where it doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Like one song continues.
It's like almost like an EP. Yeah, it's just a big long song.
Back in the day when you burnt a CD, it didn't have tracks. If you had an album that did that.
Yeah.
So
No,
it
it's
was like
one long
one
song.
track. So if you hit like next, it would just go to the end of the album. So you had to, on our CD players, we actually had the little button that you could hold down and it would fast forward.
Right.
So
Seek for the next song.
yeah.
No, and that whole album is made for psychedelic drugs.
And I wasn't on any.
You're just toughing it out.
I can sing Money right now if you turn on the music.
Jesus. I see.
Yeah. It would freak people out. They'd get in my truck and there's the song Time, I think, which is like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
The first 3 minutes is just like, and they're like, what is going on with your, and I'm like, song's about to
Something's
start.
wrong with your truck.
Here, let me fast forward. And then it would start and they'd be like, what are you listening to? It's like, it's Pink Floyd, man. It's like, come on, man. It's not like I'm listening to Fish or something where, people curl their nose up at you. They're like, you don't like Fish?
That's all that jam band, Grateful Dead kind of shit. Yeah, I don't care nothing for it either. That was one of the topics I had, though, speaking of music. And this was, I say current events, but I've been keeping this list for 6 months. But this came up at Coachella, which happened too long ago, a couple months ago, maybe. But there was this little bit of a stink about, you know who Benson Boone is?
Mm-hmm.
Singer, new guy, young guy. He was on stage, I believe singing a Queen song. I think it was Rhapsody. Or
Oh, and he brought Brian May out.
Brian May, and nobody, or not say nobody, most people at that festival didn't know who the hell it was.
Yeah. Well,
So there's this uproar about, and I'm an old head, so I'm thinking, you don't know Brian May. Yeah, you get to watch. If it only spun while they were in there, that'd be the most entertaining thing. But yeah, there's news articles and clips about how Brian May wasn't getting respect
Yeah, I don't think Brian May plays to the Coachella crowd.
I don't know if should people be upset about it, I guess was the question.
Yeah, they should. I mean,
You being a history guy, I know this is music history.
especially since the movie, I think we just talked, it was in one of the lists we talked about earlier. Um, what was the movie that came out about Freddie Mercury?
Oh, Bohemian Rhapsody. Or
Yeah,
was it?
yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. Yeah, it came out. Brian May's in there.
Yeah.
Like you should. Oh yeah, that's that guy from Queen. But
It just didn't. It was like as a full man on stage with a.
like Coachella started out as like artists going out into the desert playing for like the hippies, and now it's turned into everybody from Malibu and
Getting
the
high.
Hamptons like fly out there, and that's why
It's more
wasn't it like a couple of years ago where there was like a bad rainstorm and it like washed away the roads and they were stuck
Yeah.
and they couldn't get them supplies.
It's more of a status thing now than it
Yeah.
was the music festival.
Because there's another one in Chicago. There's Coachella, and then there's the one in Chicago. What's that?
One of them I wanted to get to, but a few years ago.
It's a music festival I went to back in the day. I don't know if it's still good. I would assume it is. South by Southwest in
Oh,
Austin.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. I think
we did make a temporary stop in a small town in Mississippi to eat at a Hardee's, and there's a Klan rally.
Oh,
Like walking down the street.
it was Wednesday.
I thought we had gone back in time, and I was like, "What the hell?"
You kind of did when
The girl from Hardee's was like, "Yeah, it's their monthly."
they did.
She's like, "They don't do anything. They just walk down with signs and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, well, can we get that to go?"
Don't be tied up in this.
Yeah, I don't need that kind of juju.
No.
This is not great.
Yeah, I think it's just the whole Brian May thing was just I guess it got taken as kind of disrespectful, but and I guess it is. But I can't expect people in their 20s to know a guitar player that's probably in his 70s at this point.
Lollapalooza is the one. that you got.
Lollapalooza.
Yeah, but
I mean, it does kind of hurt your heart a little bit. And this is one of the greatest. He's a member of one of the greatest bands of all time, and
well, maybe they could
you're
have.
cheering for Benson Boone. I like Benson Boone, but
Maybe Benson could have. Hey, everybody! It's Brian May
from Queen.
From Queen.
Then if you don't get it in, you shouldn't be at a music festival.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to be a judge of music. If you look at my playlist, look.
What is it? Is it Pink Floyd?
Pink Floyd. Nice. Right on the money. Let's see what I've been listening to here. Dark Side of the Moon. Comfortably Numb.
Do you use Spotify?
I do, but I've got the Apple.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I put a song in there and it's like, oh, well, maybe you'll like this. And Three Doors Down, Five Finger Death Punch, the Dan Band. I like to laugh when no one's looking. Danny song from Kenny Loggins, and you know what I'm talking about?
No, I do not.
You know Danny song.
It might be some. I know it if I hear it.
People smile and tell me.
You're gonna have to
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna have to remove this from the podcast so we don't
Copyrighted.
get copyrighted. Oh
I had
man,
a
the
list.
search thing is completely full. Let's just go to what
I've been doing the DJ thing lately, where he picks songs for you. You can skip past them.
let's see. Afterlife, Five Finger Death Punch, Remember Him That Way, Luke Combs, In the End, Linkin Park, Sound of Madness, Shine Down, Three Doors Down, Duck and Run,
That's a great song. Well, I love Shinedown.
Nickelback, High Time. I listen to Nickelback. Fuck anybody that has a problem with Nickelback.
Fine.
AC/DC, 3 Days Grace, Seether, Journey,
You and Lance would have some. I think Lance is like Seether.
Shine Down,
Shinedown's a Jacksonville band.
Breaking Benjamin, Godsmack. I loved Godsmack in the 90s.
They got one song that I like. Can't remember the name of it now.
Just one?
Oh, they may have more than one. There's one I knew it was Godsmack.
Under Your Scars,
No, I don't think so.
Evanescence, Hoobastank, Papa Roach, Matchbox 20.
Oh yeah, I've seen Matchbox and
Ooh, Creed. I actually think Creed is much worse than Nickelback, but
Oh yeah, they had a good run there.
Leonard Skinner, Kid Rock, Theory of a Dead Man, The Fray, Metallica. Let's see. Lifehouse. Hemorrhage
Yeah.
from Fuel.
Yep.
Sound of Silence by Disturbed. I like that one. I don't like the Simon and Garfunkel. Just kind of want to punch Simon and Garfunkel. You ever look at like see somebody in the face and you're just like, I want to punch you.
Yeah, Garfunkel, he looks like a punching bag.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Rolling through the same bands here.
Rob Thomas, The Beatles, AC/DC, Shinedown, Matchbox 20, Foo Fighters, Rainbow Kitten Surprise. Are you big fans of Rainbow Kitten Surprise?
Not really.
My daughter's got on here.
Sublime.
Sublime's good.
You see, there's the son of the lead singer of Sublime is now the singer.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you listen to Santera and What I Got, they sound almost identical. It's great. Let's see. Ooh. Hamilton, Joe, Frank, and Reynolds. Don't Pull Your Love. That's a great song. Korn.
I got a Korn song.
Monsters, Shinedown.
The Barking Frog.
So obviously I'm not judging music, but
No, it's just the
I don't
whole
understand her.
historical. Oh, you talking about Taylor? Yeah, I think it's just that she can't move on from, it's what made her who she is. She can't abandon that whole. But it is a little weird when you get to your mid-30s and you're,
Like she's still wearing the bathing suit thing.
Yeah, it's a
The
little.
onesie.
I guess maybe it's a business decision at this point. She just can't quit what got her there.
Doesn't she
I don't
have
know.
more money than God?
Yeah, she has $1 billion. I don't know.
I just
But then now you're addicted to the fame part of it.
like throw on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt and get out there and sing. Like,
Yeah.
why do you have to be dressed up like Las Vegas showgirl?
They do that like Cher. She to this day it does
Yeah,
this
but
thing.
Cher's thing.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, that Cher's always like
big. But I mean, Taylor, when she was young,
when she started out, she was a country singer.
yeah,
So she was
teenager.
wearing like the jeans and like the vest and
there's more money. It was a business decision.
and then she went pop and
And she gets clicks. You put her name in something.
is
And
she in the WNBA? Isn't she like 6'2"?
she's good
Very
5'10".
tall.
How tall is Travis? He's like 6'5", I think.
Yeah.
She's not. She could be 6 foot. I don't know.
Apparently, he's super hairy. So I saw an article the other day that some other football player was clowning him. They took a picture of him like with his shirt off, and he bothers me. He's very, very good at his position.
Yeah.
But if he was to take his shirt off like in a gym, like I would have no problem taking my shirt
No,
off.
no.
I'd be like,
Yeah, he's not some big muscle guy. He's not like Tony Gonzalez or some other tight end, or like Rob Gronkowski.
he is
shredded.
all
Yeah.
natural talent. Like there's no.
He just knows how to wiggle and get open.
So, in fact, I think if he didn't like maintain some kind of diet, he would probably be playing guard next
Yeah.
to his brother.
Well, I think his brother's probably in better shape physically. He was a center.
I forgot who it was, but some football player was, I think it was Kirk Cousins. So if you're getting clowned by Kirk Cousins, it's a bad day, right? But he saw a picture of Travis, and apparently he's got some hair on the back, and I guess Taylor's not going to shave it for him.
I guess
He was like,
it's like, what am I trying for? That's Taylor Swift.
I mean, she does have a
To
song.
bankroll me.
She does have a song called Cardigan. It's a natural cardigan. Yeah, I couldn't watch the NFL because every Chiefs game, like every 10 minutes, it was.
Well, Tammy's a perfect example. My wife is. She never. I mean, I've watched football forever. Never cared anything about it. Huge Chiefs fan now. Huge. Loves Travis. Watch listen to the podcast.
So who's she going to cheer
Jason-
for when
I don't know.
when
Well, she
Taylor
hates-
comes out with,
It breaks up with Travis.
yeah, and it's going to be a very borderline Native American song.
I'll be laid down.
It just, is Tammy just going to give up on football?
I don't know. She still watches. No,
I mean, Haley Steinfeld just married Josh.
Josh
Whatever.
Allen. I don't know. I don't know who Hayes. She's an actress, I think.
Yeah. She was. Did you see the?
This movie.
There it is. And there's the poop.
That's the poop.
That's disgusting. You didn't see the new. It's not called Rooster Cogburn, but that's what it was. The remake, the one that Rooster Cogburn. You saw that one with John Wayne, right?
Yeah, I guess I know the name.
The one where he's wearing the eye patch and he's the drunk marshal.
Oh, is that the one that Matt Damon?
Yeah,
played?
Matt Damon. Was,
Yeah.
I forget what the new one was called.
I forget too.
Haley Steinfeld was the little girl in the.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah, she was in the Pitch Perfect movies. She
was the little girl in the Matt Damon version of it.
Yeah, the one that.
True Grit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that was the really good negotiator,
Yeah.
where she went in there with the lawyer and
Oh,
just pulled his pants down.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I remember about that.
Yeah, I think she's only 17, but I guess in New York it's okay that
With how Josh? Josh is
she's
late
probably
20s.
27. She just looks like she's 17.
Speaking of athletes, I think I sent you this one. Trans athletes. And since I sent you, how I feel about trans athletes, and should create this no PED league or no PED testing league. But now, since then, I've watched McAfee, and they were talking about they're having an enhanced Olympics.
Yeah, they had those
I'm
guys
so
on.
excited for.
They had those guys on Rogan. I heard they're just anything goes.
Anything goes.
Well, actually, they are gonna. I think they're gonna test to make sure, like,
You are on something.
to make sure somebody's not doing something to hurt themselves.
They're
Like,
gonna die on something.
yeah, they're not gonna have a heart attack or have a stroke because of what they're doing. But they're just like, yeah, anything goes.
They had a swimmer whose name I can't remember, but they had I had a picture of him before when he was. I don't know if he was an Olympic swimmer. He was a good swimmer. He was a successful swimmer. Then they had him post like a year later when he was juicing. His lats were just hanging out of his base. I mean, he was huge. His neck was huge. Everything was big about him. So I can't wait for that. But that goes back to the trans athletes. Throw them in there too. If you're a biological female and you're wanting to compete, or it's usually the other way around, biological male.
It's always the other way around.
Because you're going to lose.
You've heard no stories of trans men
Throw in the
competing in sports.
This is what you want to do. This is what we're going to do.
Which is amazing that everybody's like, well, there's no advantage. Well, why aren't there any trans men that are dominating? Oh, because they're 5'6". So that immediately rules out every kind of, football, basketball, whatever. It's like at this point, you're just kind of shaking your head. Like, I think I saw somewhere where in California, they're, I guess they're still in school because like their track state championships are going on right now, but a trans female like won gold and like the triple jump and the long jump and was beating the next person by like 3 or 4 feet.
Crazy, yeah.
It wasn't even close. And I think
This is fair.
one of the people that argued were like, well, that's what Jesse Owens did in 1936. And it was like, yeah. And this is just Jesse Owens with a wig. Like, why are we not being smart about this?
Yeah, put Jesse Owens in the league with women. See how he does.
It's just,
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
but I think, I don't want to get too political because my stance. I don't like either political party, but the Democratic Party has just gotten just so goofy with this stuff that they're, it's like, man,
It's such a minority to go after.
and there's so much stuff to go after Republicans about.
Yeah.
But the Republicans are just like, let's just stand in the corner and watch what happens.
They'll destroy themselves.
And like the Washington Post or the New York Times posted an article the other day that was like fentanyl seizures at the border have dropped to an all-time low. And they were like, why? And it was just like, wait, did you
say the borders?
Did you notice the borders have been closed? Like, is that, what?
If they're having seizures, they're having seizures at home now.
You were journalists. So
Yeah, but I'm excited about the enhanced Olympics. I think it's going to be something.
yeah, I'm excited about that too. Somebody's gonna die.
But just go all in.
Yeah,
Just do it.
yeah. But I don't know what the answer is with the. I do know what the answer is, but it's just gonna piss off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
It's,
I mean, I'm not trying to rob anybody of their ability to compete.
Yeah.
But you have to compete in a.
compete with the girls.
That's right. Compete with who you're.
Like there's girls that play football.
Yeah.
Why can't this person?
If you're that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're the 200th swimmer in the world, now you're dominating the women's division. Okay. Yeah, it's great. Good for you. Of all the guys, you're the one competing against women and beating them. The lack of shame in it is what concerns me. I guess people will do anything to get on TV, but
My problem is like, well, if you're not acknowledging that they're a woman, it's like, well, two things: they're not a biological woman,
Right.
like that. We can easily do a blood test and tell that. That's apparently science only matters in certain things. Like that's the
you're a
Democratic
science
Party,
denier. Yeah,
the Democratic Party used to be the big science group, and now they're just kind of like,
well, it matters sometimes.
it's like, we don't know.
I don't like that part of the science.
It's like, can you tell me the difference between this animal and that animal? Well, that's a cat and that's a dog. How'd you do that? You're not a vet. You didn't go to school for that. But and my wife, she works in women's health, and she's like, well, you can't just say simply something like, well, if it's got a uterus, it's one. Because there's women that have had hysterectomies and things like that. But
And there are genetic, oddities that happen occasionally, but they're very rare. Yeah.
That, and I have no idea what you tell a parent in that scenario. And, because you're like, okay, well, we think this is the right thing. And in 4 or 5 years, you're like, oh shit, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's where we've identified this at 4 or 5. Like, we just have to go buy new clothes and,
Whoops.
adjust. Yeah. But
It's such a rare thing.
if someone wants to change their sex,
Yeah.
I've got no problem with that. But
As long as you're of age. Yeah.
for the world to like have to bend over backwards for it,
You can get it because you get it wrong.
I don't think so.
Jeez.
What was I heard somebody say this is gonna get this show immediately canceled. But they said they were like, why do I have to accept it when they couldn't accept who they were?
Yeah.
And it's a great question, but again, like if someone's like, like if you came in my office and you're like, I'm gonna start transitioning to a girl, I'd be like, does this affect the podcast? Can we still podcast? Can we still drink? And you'd be like, yeah, we can do all that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wear a dress, and I'll be like, whatever. Like that's your choice.
This is that video.
I don't care.
Podcast.
But then if you're like, I'm also going to say that I'm 19 years old and I'm going to start competing in some local event, I'm going to be like, buddy, that's Badina, whatever you change your name to. That's just
it's
awkward, isn't it? I mean, don't we?
And aren't you embarrassed about it? I mean, I think the shame part of it is just, it's amazing to me that it escapes these people. You're competing, you're a biological male, regardless of what you identify as. I think in your mind, you're a male. You were a male for 18 years or whatever it might be. Now you're,
like you said,
you're beating women.
They were competing in an event that they weren't very good in.
Yeah.
And then you move to this event where you start dominating.
Now you're an
and
all-star.
You're celebrating, and you're like, shouldn't this be like the old school, like I hit a home run and I just need to put my head down and run around the bases? Because if I celebrate, like Nolan Ryan's going to hit me with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Like, do I really need to like rub it in people's faces? Because last year, like I had a dong and testosterone.
Why not go full out and just compete in the Special Olympics or something? You rule the world.
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville. Like,
look how good you did in the softball throw.
I don't think we're thinking things through as a society anymore. We're so afraid to do this.
Yeah.
Where we're having the conversation because, like YouTube's going to send us a thing like, you guys are anti-trans. It's like,
No, I'm not. I really don't care what you do with yourself.
we're just questioning, why is everybody forced to, like cover our eyes and be like, yes, that is the best female sprinter in the world.
Yeah. Never mind the bulge, the lower part of her bathing suit.
Okay. You know, I did see, which it makes me feel bad for the boxing division, the boxer from the Olympics. Like they've
Oh, going back and forth with that.
Yeah,
And she's in the news again. I'm not sure where it landed. But
yeah. And they tested and they were like, nope, you're biological male. You can no longer compete in the female division. Well, that's great now, but how about all those people that worked like really hard to get to the Olympics?
yeah,
And
got
got
put
the
out.
shit kicked out of them by a dude.
Basically, yeah, domestic abuse got them out of the Olympics. Yeah, they need to fix that. And that's things that there's too much conversation around it. It's so easy to fix. Just, however you're born. And not everybody can be a professional athlete. Very few people, even if you do remain male your entire life, like Michael Jordan, if you like, I think there's a comedian, Bill Burr, somebody did a thing about it. LeBron James, maybe it was Dave Chappelle, which all of a sudden identifies a woman. He would score 800 points in the WNBA.
You and me had this conversation, I think, the first or second podcast.
Yeah.
Like, if you took the New York Liberty, who are the reigning WNBA champions, and you put them up against, I think Celtics won it last year.
Yeah.
They would not get past half.
No,
The
they wouldn't
tallest
score.
player on the Liberty, I think, is Brianna Stewart, and she's like 6'5".
Yeah.
That's the point guard.
It's a whole different breed of human,
Like Jason, like if Brianna Stewart came across half court, and the only way to do this is Elon Musk, is to take the New York Liberty and the Boston Celtics and say, look, you guys are going to play a game. And to make sure that there's no shenanigans, the winner of the game gets $1 billion.
Yeah.
And then so they're going to be like, the guys are going to
They're
be like,
really
wait,
going
what?
to try hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what you tell the guys is like the girls say, okay, knowing that they're probably not going to beat the Celtics, they leave the room. Then you look at and you say, every point that they score is $100,000 off of that.
Give them some motivation. It goes to the girls. They get $100,000 per point.
Every point they score, and I'm not telling them this, but every point they score. And I think if you told the Celtics that, they would be like, gotcha.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't be able to inbound the ball.
It's
your
just
only
such a
hope,
disadvantage.
your only hope would be that like somebody falls down and you take like a half court heave and it goes in.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark kicks it in from the
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
And it's like,
Why can't
I
it's so obvious?
think I told you this. Carl, he was a basketball coach for the Nuggets. Carl something, but he was like, Juju Watkins could play in the NBA, and it was like, oh come on, man.
Okay.
Juju Watkins is phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's a phenomenal woman. Why can't we just say that? Why do we have to do the, because if I said, who would be great in the WNBA? LeBron James, everybody would be like, well, no shit.
Yeah, exactly. So what does that say?
What does that say? You know who would be great in the WNBA? Everyone in the NBA.
Yeah.
Even the guy that never plays, that's on, the 12th man over there, he hasn't taken his warm-up off all year. That guy would be MVP.
Fantastic.
He would score 100 points a night. Yeah, that was
Yeah, but I am excited.
Yeah, I am.
These games, unless somebody does.
I don't want anybody to hurt themselves. But
Yeah,
that goes back to what late 90s baseball with Barry Bonds and Mark McGuire, where they were just so roided out of their minds. They just drive the ball out of the stadium. Let them eat.
yeah. It. Have I ever told you that there's like the weird statistic of, I don't know if you know much about the San Francisco Giants Oracle Field, or it used to be Pac Bell Park,
Yeah.
AT&T
Candlestick
Park.
Park. Oh, yeah. Was it Candlestick or was that the same?
That was the old one.
Okay.
So the new stadium that they have, it's right on the waterfront in San Francisco.
Yeah, where they hit the ball. It was like,
Yeah. So there's McCovey Cove,
mm-hmm.
where like the number of home runs that have gone into McCovey Cove, it's like Barry Bonds and then everybody else, and it's not even close.
Oh, really?
And it's like, well, he's left-handed, and it's like since he left, the number of home runs that go into McCovey Cove, it's it's like 5 or 6 a year. He was hitting like 10 or 15 a season.
Everyone.
It was just like, so you guys don't think, and that was before they started doing all this like home run swinging. Like that was back in like regular baseball.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, home runs had gotten big, but like Barry Bonds was still hitting like 340.
Jumping up on the bat.
Yeah.
And driving them into the water.
It was like in 2010 where they were like, if we just swing and try to hit a home run every time because they got the shift, so I can't hit it.
Yeah.
If I hit a ground ball, it's going to be out. It's like, well, what if you hit it this way where there's nobody? Why do I want to do that?
So just try to hit it into the water.
Like the league batting average was like 230, and people were striking out at an astronomical rate, and they're still not hitting home runs in McCovey Cove like he was.
No, he was.
Let me look that up.
Yeah, if you get a fantastic athlete like Barry Bonds was, when he was a great player, now you muscle him up, let him get that timing down with some oomph behind it, he's going to be unbeatable.
All right. As of April 9th, 2025, 106 home runs have been hit into McCovey Cove.
Since what was the date?
As of this year.
This year, okay.
So dating all the way back, I think they started in that park in 2000. Let's see. Sports writers. I want to say that stadium opened in 2002. So in 25 years, basically, 23 years, Barry Bonds has 35 of the 106 home runs.
Oh, my God.
So almost half.
When did he retire?
He hasn't played since like 2005.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
So
he put him in a women's softball league.
yeah, I mean, he was just. I mean, last year the first right-handed hitter hit one into McCovey Cove. Now,
Really?
Now that's an opposite field,
Yeah.
but still, 23 years for a right-handed guy to hit one. And Barry Bonds was hitting like 3 or 4 a week. Just splash, splash. Unbelievable. So we talked about trans athletes.
Yeah.
So we are going to watch the enhanced games.
Yes. I cannot.
I had something I had written down. When you hear the term influencer, do you want to murder someone?
Not necessarily. Influencer. I don't like the title. I don't like the connotation of the people that are influencers. Is that you?
It's me.
I don't like what it conjures up in my mind. It's usually an annoying person that is self-titled influencer. They're not really truly influencing anything.
I saw an article. Do you know who Livy Doon is?
I do not.
She's a gymnast from LSU. She's Paul Skeens, who's a baseball player.
Yes, a great picture.
Yeah. It's his girlfriend or fiance. I'm not sure if they're engaged. If they are, congratulations. But there was an article and she was like, I'm constantly being like followed by middle-aged men in airports. And it's, when you go to her Instagram, it's her in like bikini and gym gear. And it's like, do you not understand the correlation here? Like, I'm not saying you don't have a right to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you don't have a right to do that without people following you or stalking you. But
you are kind of
you're on
in
Instagram
that group,
and this dude's following you and he sees you. Like, he may just be following you to get an autograph.
Yeah. Or talk to you about Paul Skeens.
Yeah. Or be like, hey, can you hook me up with some tickets to the Pirates game? It may not be about you, but like,
Odds are.
your whole thing is you want popularity, and now the popularity is bad.
Yeah. It's not the popularity you wanted. It's not the group that you're trying to court, although you are.
Yeah. Okay. It's like I think you and me had this conversation, like when a celebrity, like there's a death in their family and they put out like a tweet, like, we're devastated
Prayers.
and we request your privacy. Why didn't you just send out a tweet about the death? Because I probably would have never known about it had you gone and tweeted about it. So that's how you maintain privacy. It kind of goes back to the whole Meghan Markle and Harry thing.
Just thirsty
We
for press.
we do not want this public life in England with this, lottery ticket that we invest in. So we are going to go seek privacy in the United States. And as soon as we get there, we're going to do a Netflix deal.
We're going to publicity whore the whole thing.
And I'm going to have a show where I pretend to cook. And I have Mindy Kaling over. And
Is that a weird couple, too? Why is Mindy Kaling there?
I chastise her for calling me Meghan Markle and not Meghan Sussex.
Yeah, it's not... There's no reason for that. She's an influencer. I'll give her that. And she was an actress in a show that I liked. Suits. But then there's this whole...
Was she good?
She's all right. I mean, she wasn't a major part of the show. Did you watch? Watch Suits?
No,
it's pretty good.
She was excellent at holding the briefcase on. What was that game show with Howie?
No, really? That was her?
Yeah, she was one of the girls that helped.
That wasn't I Want to Be a Millionaire. I remember that show, though. You had to open the brief.
Was it Let's Make a Deal, or was it?
Maybe. That's an old show, though.
I bet Tammy knows it.
Tim, what was that show that... Yeah. What was that show called? You remember? I know. Chuck's younger than we are.
It wasn't Let's Make a Deal. Howie Mandel.
Game show. Deal or No Deal?
Deal or No Deal, yeah. Yeah, she was one of the briefcase
Oh, really?
models. Yeah, that was her first gig.
Yeah, she's cute. And, she did okay. She's not a bad actress. She was good in Suits, I guess. But, yeah, this whole thing about it's just weird. You're trying to twist this whole woe is me. I'm the, princess, I guess, of Sussex. Yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to feel bad for you that you don't have to work.
But it's like these influencers. Like I read an article every week where it's like a travel influencer like shows up at a hotel and expects to be like comped. Like,
because of who they are.
I'm going to put this hotel all over my Instagram. Like, you guys are getting free publicity. You need to pay for my $5,000 room. And it's like, or if you happen to look around, we are completely booked.
Yeah.
So
we don't know who you are.
We don't know who you are.
So I appreciate it. But
I just feel like it's a bunch of people that have never been told no.
Yeah.
Their entire lives. And they're like, I'm just going to keep doing this.
I think that's a lot.
And I'm not hating on them. Like, if you're able to make money off of that and you're able to capitalize, it's a great thing about this country. But I'm going to despise you my entire life. Not because you're making money. Like, I'm proud of you for making money. I'm going to despise you. Like, I don't even put you in, like, a prostitute is better than you. Because there's a transaction to
somebody's getting something for their money. You're just bothering people.
Yeah, you're just like, check out my Instagram, check out my Facebook.
If you're not adding anything, you're not bringing any value, then you're really, and that has to end at some point, I think. But it keeps continually getting worse. Wow.
Do you think social media has jumped the shark? Do people know what that term means? Jump the shark?
I don't know if anybody knows what it means anymore since Happy Days went off air, but maybe. Although I don't know. I haven't seen the next big thing move in yet. So,
well, it's going to be AI. It's going to be AI relationships.
That's a whole podcast and
that movie, Her. It's going to take its toll on society.
I heard the brilliant Oracle Theo Vaughn the other day said that he thinks the next thing that might happen is music will stop. Original bands, that's going to be a thing of the past, because people aren't going to, kids aren't going to hang out in a garage and, form these relationships with friends and try to learn an instrument. And when you can do it all in software, you can do it on your phone. You can go to, some app and make your own music. You don't have to learn anything. And that whole, as bands come in and group together and grow, don't get along, they break up, they come back together, all that whole social aspect of it is nobody wants that anymore. They're just going to get on their phone and make their own music.
That's why I'm kind of glad the boys do jiu-jitsu because,
The group activities are important.
Yeah.
That social part of it,
and it's
you got to find it now. It's not
kind of funny whenever one of them gets choked out. Yeah. Well,
fun to see your kids unconscious.
you know this. I've been doing it.
Yeah.
It's, it's fun, but it's also not.
Yeah. Well, I've been there before. We did boot camp and all together, me and Tammy did. And it was, the physical part of it is not fun. But there is something about being in a group of people that, you're all kind of experiencing the same thing at the same
I
time.
mean, I do like learning something new.
Yeah.
But that learning is just pain for me right now. And so, but
You're not old, you're just older.
yeah. But it is nice. Like if Cooper ticks me off, it's like, hey, I signed you up for a competition this weekend. Huh? Yeah.
Use it as a weapon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to beat your ass, but I'll make sure.
And
somebody else
by the
does.
way, the jiu-jitsu, they don't care if you sign up. So like if your weight class is like 70 pounds and you sign your kid up for 80 pounds, they're like, as long as he's not over the weight. So both kids are on notice. Yeah. I'll send you out there against the the 12-year-olds, Cooper, and they'll ragdoll you.
160-pound girl that you're fighting this weekend.
So, but what else did you have? You had another interesting topic.
Let's see. I had a couple late editions I'll save for later. But
Oh, here's one you sent me. Am I a psycho since the most
I did have that.
death didn't affect you?
Yep. So we have a cat. We have cats. So context, we had 4 cats. We actually had 5 cats and a dog.
One ran away next door.
One cat lives next door because he hates cats worse than anybody else in the house. And then we had a cat who was an asshole cat.
What a great neighbor, by the way. Like just
Well, they loved the cat. And she just went over there and started eating, and now they take her to the vet, and it's still in our name. They have to get registered with our name because the cat belonged to us. We actually got that cat from the Humane Society, however long ago, 15 years ago. But she bailed out. So we had most of our cats, 3 of our cats we found. And this cat, that's fine. There's a coaster somewhere. Stable's in excellent condition. So this cat they all fight. They all live together in the yard and fight with other cats that are getting to our yard. And none of them are good at it. None of them are good fighters. And they all come back. You'll see Riley, the oldest one. His ears bent over now from a fight. They all go to the vet. And Lincoln got into a fight, the orange one. Orange cats, I don't know if you have ever had cats. Orange cats are insane. And very aggressive and mean. So he hates all the other cats. He hates the cats in the yard, and he would go fight them. Like I say, wasn't good at it. The last time he got in a fight, he got scratched, and he got infected, and we spent a lot of money, and he died like a month into it. So it was a horrible event. My daughters were here. My oldest one was here. Her friend was here. Tammy was here. And they finally decided to put the cat down after investing a lot of money in Frankenstein stitches all around this cat's body. It looked horrible. They finally decided to put it down. They all go to the vet to put it down on a Sunday. And I went to Harbor Freight. When I got back home, my oldest daughter asked me if I was a psycho because I wasn't upset about the cat. And it wasn't that I wasn't upset about the cat. It was, of course, animal dying is sad. But this cat was hated, by every member of the family at some point. They all hated it. And then they got to a point where the cat was sick and they were taking care of it. And they felt sorry for the cat because he was not mean any longer because he was on death's door for a month. But yeah, I got accused of being a psycho. And that concerned me because I was like, well, the last few years I care less and less about a lot of things. And maybe that was one of them. But
I don't know if that makes you a psycho.
yeah. If my dog passed away, I would be sad.
So I've lost.
I think.
I've lost 4 dogs in the last 10, 12 years.
Yeah. One of them you drug out of the road or something, didn't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the other one got hit too, but we weren't home. So our neighbor drug it out of the road. Dixie, she was a disaster. It's the first dog my wife got for me. And she brings the dog home, and like as soon as the dog walks in, it's puppy.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, oh, it's a cute lab. Goes like right in the corner of peace. It's like, awesome.
Labs are tradition. Historically hard.
So every time somebody would come over to our house, this dog would go like pee. And I was like, what is going on with this dog? And
Just when somebody came to your
yeah,
house.
just a new person coming to the house, like, it
Yeah.
would run from the door and pee. And I was like, what's the deal with this dog? And she was like, I don't know. I was like, when you got it from the people, like whoever you got it from, what was the deal? She was like, well, the dogs that they had were in this pen. And they were all like, when I came up, they were all like jumping up at the fence. And I saw this one like hiding under the steps. And so I got that one. And I was like, what? Why would you do that? She was like,
Chose
I was like, well, it looks so cute. And it was so sad. I was like, it's terrified of people.
it's the constant peeing.
So she never got over that. Like every time somebody came in the house, she would just unload a just
Oh, really?
huge pile of piss.
Like she'd go somewhere to on purpose to pee, or she's like,
No,
she was
Yeah,
standing.
like somebody
She was scared. Yeah.
terrified.
Yeah.
And so I was just, it was a nightmare. And we left her out one night and she ran across the street and got hit, and neighbor found her and drug her across the street and either took her to the hunt club or buried her. I don't know what he did with her, but then we had another dog, Mutt, Rudy. That was my favorite dog ever. And greatest dog ever until we got him neutered. And we got him neutered, like he continually tried to commit suicide. And he finally succeeded one night. I found him. I'd gone to the gas station and came home, and there he is laying in the road dead. She's like, oh, Jesus.
Is this where you live now?
Nah.
Oh,
It's just... And then we didn't have a dog for a while. And then my wife got this Great Dane urge, and
Oh my God.
so we did a rescue of a Great Dane that was like 12 years old. And I don't know if you know anything about Great Danes, but
That's about the end of the life, right?
8 years is
Oh, wow.
there. So this one was already like 4 years past, and we had him for 2.5, almost 3 years. His hips didn't work.
No,
He smelled terrible, but sweetest dog.
yeah.
Like, Great Danes are actually like super like playful. They think they're lap dogs.
Yeah.
Like you'll
They're as big as you.
So like, we got another one after Charlie, and when like you come home, they forgot what Mallory called it, but Great Danes will get these things like the spinnies or the swirlies or
Zoomies.
zoomies,
Yeah.
and they'll just like run around in circles. And like Charlie would try to do it, but he would get like extremely tired like halfway through it.
Yeah,
So he was
yeah.
just like look at you and be like, come rub my head. And the kids loved him because he just was like a
there.
ball.
Yeah.
And then we got Briggs, who was just this nightmare of a Great Dane, and he bit
Younger.
one. Yeah, he bit one too many people, and
Hey.
but yeah, I was actually working at CSX and went. This was my first dog hunt. Like I had never run dogs growing up. I'd always just hunt out of a stand or do a, just what do they call it?
Still hunt.
Just a creep,
Yeah.
where you're just kind of walking through the woods. And so this guy was like, oh man, he was like, running dogs is like being on cocaine. And I was like, well, I don't know what that's like either. And he's like, you'll love it. And it's Eldon, this old tool guy that worked at CSX. And so I was like, all right, so go hunting with him. We get out of the truck, and he's got the bed full of dogs. He's got the dog pen in the back of his truck, and he opens the pen, and like 4 dogs come just sprinting out and just tear ass off into the woods. Like a 5th one jumps down and starts like wandering around, like sniffing stuff. I'm looking at it, and it's probably from me to you. And all of a sudden, that dog was no more. And I was like,
What?
I was like, are we actually hunting dogs? Like, I'm confused here. And he was like, he didn't know what to do. And I was like, how old's that dog? And he was like, I don't know, 8, 9 months. I was like,
Gosh.
is there some kind of training? He was like, I didn't train those 4. I was like, okay.
Am I safe?
So,
Am I okay here?
and apparently that is how you handle those
Yeah.
dogs. Like if they don't,
It's shocking now. Yeah.
and so now like I'm just, it doesn't, it's an animal.
Yeah.
It's not a human being. Like,
Well, that's how they really, it's a tool. That's solely a tool. That is not a tool.
I understand the emotional attachment.
Yeah. Pets are different from hunting dogs. I mean, they really treat hunting dogs poorly.
Yeah, but I mean, if I was to lose a pet, I'd probably be the same way you.
Yeah.
I just go to Lowe's and buy a tool and come back and
Got shit to do.
just,
Yeah, I mean, we put dogs down, and we've had family pets, and that was one of our favorites. They're always our favorite whenever because we've had Loki for 5 years, 6 years, maybe.
Loki,
That's Loki.
Marvel Loki.
No, I don't know where Loki came from. It wasn't Marvel. Who? Oh.
That was lucky.
But she's Tammy picked Loki out, Tammy and Jesse, but she's small. She weighs 15, 16 pounds, and she doesn't shed. Whatever breed she is doesn't shed. So,
Perfect.
yeah,
dog.
you've had labs, so you know hair's hair everywhere. Yeah, so she's as far as dogs go, she's pretty trouble-free.
Yeah, the mutt we had, Rudy, he was half blue tick and half mutt. So he had like all the good of like a blue tick animal, but none of the bad. And he looked like this miniature version of Beethoven.
Oh, really?
Like when Beethoven was a puppy, that's what he looked like, full grown.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Like I remember we had only had him, I think he was maybe a year. And like I went outside one night and he would go use the bathroom and I was carport. I think I had like a beer and I was just sitting there not paying attention and I hear I look over and he's dragging a possum over. And I was like, yeah, awesome. I was like, now I gotta get rid of the possum. But we had an alligator turtle
Lord.
that came through our yard. Yeah, this is when we lived in Folkestone. There's all kinds of
Yeah,
alligators roaming around.
Wild hogs. Did you see wild hogs? I would
Yeah,
assume so.
we had a couple of those in our yard, a couple of meth heads.
Yeah.
But had a meth head steal my Steel Grafton's Power Wheel one night.
They like rode it out of the yard.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had to start keeping it inside after this instance. But it was parked in the carport next to my truck and we had the windows open. It was like October, November. It was like kind of the first weekend where it had gotten like a
Weather,
little
yeah.
chill. So you had the windows open and it felt good. And I could just hear that wee. I was like, what the hell? I turn around. I'm sitting in the recliner and I see this guy with his legs like sticking way up.
Oh,
in the air.
hood.
And at first I was like, is that one of like my friends that's just messing around? And I was like, I don't know that guy. So I go in my bedroom and grab my shotgun and I don't, because,
Because at this point, you're prepared for Folkestone.
by the time he gets to the front of the yard, it's 15 minutes driving that Power Wheel. And I open the front door and I like pump the shotgun and he turns and he goes, whoa. He said, I was just taking it down to the gas station. I was going to bring it back. I was like, were you going to fill it up? He was like, I was just going to go get a 6-pack. I was like, what's wrong with your feet?
You probably get there faster if you walk.
And so it was like, oh, my bad. And he like falls out of it. And I had already called the police at this time.
Yeah.
And I actually knew the sheriff and he comes pulling up. He knew the guy by first name basis. And it was kind of like one of those Otis situations from
Sleep it off in the jail.
He just opened the back door of the car and the guy like crawled in and he was like, I'll take care of it. I was like, does he live around here? And he was like, no. He's like, he lives like 8 miles from here. I was like,
You'll see an abandoned Hot Wheels car down the street. He rode in there.
So my wife woke up the next day and she's like, why do you have the Hot Wheel in the laundry room? I was like,
Or because I can't leave in the yard.
I was like, well, somebody tried to steal it last night. She was like, do what? I said, yeah, it's unfortunate. So the last topic you had was very interesting.
Which was it?
It was a bonus topic.
Okay.
Oh, a little underbite there, huh?
Yeah. She got 5 teeth.
What was the bonus topic? It was a picture of your chest.
Was it?
Yeah. Bonus topic.
Oh, the sweat. Yeah.
Male boob.
Boob sweat. Yeah.
Why is that the first place?
Why is that?
I don't know. I'm
overweight. I'm overweight and I do sweat a lot. But
mine starts right here.
Oh,
and it
is it?
just starts to migrate.
Okay.
Now I do get like there's like this little circle right
Yeah.
here, but it doesn't start here.
Yeah, it starts here for me. And I'm walking. So well, I can see if I was sitting down and there's a skin on skin situation or something, but I was standing. I was walking the whole time and just still, same spot. It's frustrating. Well, it's hard to be fat anyway. But
Have you seen a medical professional? Right?
I've not. Of all my medical issues, I haven't asked about that. I was going to ask you one thing since we can close it out on this if you want to. I went to Charlotte, North Carolina this past weekend.
Great city.
Great city. It didn't quite make it to Charlotte. It was south of Charlotte. And then I talked to Ryan, or we can call him something else, this morning.
Well, what are you going to call him now? You've already outed
I
him.
can edit it. But he's from lived in South Carolina. He was asking about car
We'll call him
insurance.
Nair.
Nair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nair. We're gonna stick with this backwards thing. Nair.
Nair goes asking about insurance rates, car insurance rates. And my reply was, after driving through South Carolina, north and south, their car insurance should be higher because their roads are horrible.
Yeah.
From beginning to end, from Georgia to North Carolina, their roads are incredibly bad.
Yeah. My dad's from South Carolina. So Interstate 95, for whatever reason, has
It has potholes in it.
no improvement plan from Savannah, which is what the Hardyville is the first exit,
Hardyville, yeah.
all the way to
I don't know where it stops at.
is it
North of Charleston.
it's the exit before you can take to go to Myrtle Beach, right? Like you take the last exit to Myrtle Beach, and then you're into your like Rocky Mount and that area, right?
We pulled off
Lumberton, North Carolina.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
because we cut out.
I don't know. Yeah.
Going up, going north. We went on 26, which is a horrible road too. But they are trying there. Coming back, I came some back roads, which was nice. It was one of the best trips I've had through South Carolina. But when he said that this morning about the insurance being higher, I was just no wonder, because you're taking your life and you're literally fighting for your life every time you get on the highway. It's not that the drivers are bad. It's not that the roads are ill designed. It's just they're in horrible condition. And people are constantly swerving. And also the speed limit on 77 going to North Carolina is 60 sometimes. It's interstate. Sometimes it's 70.
South of the border. I forgot about
South of
that.
the border, yeah. We used to go there. Enjoyed that as a kid.
Yeah, north.
So yeah,
Pretty much the last exit.
I know you had some South Carolina.
Yeah, Lumberton is the first city. We used to have a GP mill there. They shut it down.
Oh yeah,
It was one of those cotton cellulose.
California, Atlanta.
Oh, did we just say GP? California.
CA
Um,
I've spent some time editing this.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know, it's the one thing that it was the big joke when Steve Spurrier was the football coach at South Carolina. It was like even he couldn't improve the interstates.
yeah.
It's just like
It's ridiculous.
I don't know. I don't know what the holdup is.
No.
Is it the taxes? Because it's an interstate, so it's federal.
You would think, but why is Georgia so much better than South Carolina? Georgia has some of the best, I think.
Yeah, Georgia and Florida,
And Florida's pretty good too.
Alabama,
Yeah,
Mississippi, oof. New
Yeah.
Orleans is bad, but when you get to Texas, and Texas is like, we'll pay shit that we just paved. It's like we don't care.
we just have more money we know what to do with.
You know. Although I think I did see an overpass collapse in Texas over the weekend. I think there was a video of that. But if you've ever been to Texas, you get to like Houston, and Austin's not really the same way, but Houston and Dallas,
Yeah,
they have those skyways that look like they are no shit a mile in the sky. Like you're like it looks like Jesus. I mean, the elevation here is 30 feet, and if I go to the top of that, I am at the top of Mount Everest. Like, what happened here?
I guess there's so much traffic. I've flown into Dallas and driven to Fort Worth, which is not very far. But I remember it being just vast, flat. Like here's flat, but there's so many trees. There's no trees. So you can just see forever. And it looks so crazy.
Yeah. It's like a desert with no hills.
Yeah. And that's when you drive across Texas. I can't imagine. It's like crossing 5 states, you know. But yeah, we had a good time in Texas. Actually, I've only been there for one time.
What'd you go to Dallas for?
We went to Fort Worth actually for Tammy when she owned the vacuum cleaner store. We had a big meeting out there, and we spent our time. We stayed in Fort Worth, and we spent our time.
That's where the Rangers and I think that's where the Cowboys. They're actually in Fort Worth. They're not in Dallas. Because
They had an excellent, which makes sense. The first restaurant I went to was a Tex-Mex place. Best food, Mexican food I've ever had.
Yeah. If shout out to Texas. If you ever go to Texas,
I went to Billy Bob's, the big.
They don't skip on portions.
No.
You go get like a pork chop in Texas, they give you 2.
Yeah.
And they're not pork chops, they're steaks. And you're like,
What
the hell am I supposed to do with all this? I don't know how everyone in Texas is like 500 pounds.
And they're large, but the food is, you can't blame them. I had a brisket for the first time there, and it was, then I've tried it since then. It sucks. I was like, no, that's not what it's supposed to be.
They do beef barbecue. They don't do pork barbecue.
Yeah.
But
the food was fantastic.
That one movie we talked about, Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
There's a lot of restaurants like that. The one where they go in and that lady's like, well, what don't you want?
Yeah.
It's like the green beans or the corn on the cob.
Peel that off, I'll be fine.
Just like, well, what do you mean? It's like somebody came in here one time and ordered flounder. I told him to get, it's a T-bone. Do you want the cornbread? Do you want the corn on the cob, or do you want
your
the green
options?
beans?
Yeah, they're limited. Yeah, that's a good representation of Texas.
So yeah, we took the boys out there. My niece who just graduated, my niece Ansley,
No.
she just graduated from Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, really?
Graduated while we were in the middle of the outage, so I didn't get to go.
Oh, nice.
But we went for her high school graduation, which they held at the NRG.
Oh, really?
Texans. And when you fly into, there's 2 big airports in Houston. There's Hobby, which is like on the south side. It's the small one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's 100 times bigger than Jacksonville. And then there's Bush, which is named after George H.
Okay. I think that's news. I've flown in and out of Houston.
Yeah.
That must be the one I usually land at.
Yeah. That's the one that's larger than the island of Manhattan.
No, God.
And you're just like, wait, what? This airport, they had it hanging in the lobby where it's like, you're now entering the airport that's larger than the
It's big.
And you're just like, that's just a shot
Yeah.
at New York right there. It's like, one
same time.
more thing Texas is like.
We're bigger than you are.
But
It made that clear.
yeah, it's just, when we flew in, we left like at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. So we got there 7:38 or something. We flew Southwest. So we didn't really land. We kind of bounced down the runway. Southwest doesn't have the best.
Next. They're learning.
But we took the boys to eat, and like Grafton got like scrambled eggs and sausage. And I guess like he was like, yeah, I want the links. And he was thinking like the little tiny links that you get like you go to a restaurant. I was like,
links.
2 full links.
Kibosses.
The pancake was like this, and like he had an entire plate of just eggs, and he was just like,
Did I order for the whole family?
Cooper over there is like, I think he got like sausage and biscuits or something, and the biscuits were like not cut in half. They were like 4 full biscuits that took up the plate, and I was just like,
Did you see Cooper when he ordered?
it's like, I'll just eat what these guys don't.
We'll eat this for a few days.
But it was just, yeah. Texas is a different place.
Yeah, I like Texas. That
That
was
was fun.
the only time I spent there was then, but it was good.
It's going to become its own country one day.
They're pushing it now, I think.
You're finally going to just be fed up with the rest of the country and think, you know what?
It's pretty big enough.
I think they probably have enough backhoes in that state that they could just dig a ditch, fill it up with water, just make it an island.
They have plenty of labor coming across the board there. It's done.
All right. Any wisdoms to wrap us up with?
No, I think we left a little on the plate for next time.
Yeah, we're going to start pumping some out more.
Yeah, we got to do
regular
more once
basis.
every 6 to a year.
Nobody's going to listen to
Yeah,
this.
no.
We're not that where they're like, We're like a movie, a movie debut. Like we gotta wait 6 months for the sequel.
No, we'll work on get one out a little sooner, maybe one a month or so.
We need to do a guest. So you've done the family.
I've done the family.
You've done Lance.
Haven't done Cooper and your boys yet. That's a little dicey. We need to get Lance down here, 3 of us together.
Yeah. We'll
Lance has lots of ideas too.
I mean, Crafton's not really built for podcasts.
Yeah, although he has more followers than we do.
Yeah, he does have more followers. So I don't think he'd want to come on the podcast. It might take away from his prestige.
Yeah,
but
dragging him down.
He's not a big verbalist, I asked him if he wanted to be on the podcast, and he was like, I don't know. I was like, you got to be able to say more than yes, no. And he was like, that's just not interesting. Cooper was pumped up about it.
Oh, yeah.
But we can only hold his attention for like 4 minutes, and then he's going to be like, that's lame.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out an agenda for that one.
Maybe Mallory and Tammy do a couples podcast.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Do a double date, but we'll just take this with us. We'll just go to our cilantros. What's going on over here? Coach show.
We expect free dinner.
Yeah.
Bringing you advertisement.
We're constantly going to name drop cilantros of Chicheros to our 20 subscribers. Have we gotten any more
I
subscribers?
don't think so. I hadn't checked it in a while. We haven't put any podcasts on. I'll be a bit surprised.
So are you going to let Jess's friends at Berry College that we're asking
I do. I need to let
send out a
JoJo.
mass text message? Got a new episode out.
Yep, JoJo's boyfriend. His name I won't try because I always screwed up. I think it's Kieran.
Kieran?
What's JoJo's boyfriend's name? Kieran. Great guy. He's the one that always asks me about it. His name always confuses me.
I don't know Kieran, so I don't know if he's a
Yeah,
good guy.
he is a great guy.
I'll take your
Yeah,
word for it.
take my word for it. He's a good guy. And he asked about our podcast. So
Yeah, well, I take it back.
He's a
Kieran's a
check-
great guy.
He's a check in the right box there.
Is he in the demographic? What our demographic is 35 to dead, right?
He's 22 maybe, 23. He's a fireman. He has a real actual job. He's an interesting.
And he is in our demographic.
Yeah. He's employed. Yeah. The demographics come smaller every day, but yeah, he's employed. So yeah, he's a good one.
You got some lotto numbers you want to throw out there for people?
Some who?
Lotto numbers?
No, 13, 24, 36. How many are there?
There's 5, and then there's the bonus ball.
72 needs to be in there somewhere.
72.
Yeah. After that, I don't know. Choose the rest of them yourself. How about you? You got a lot of numbers?
No, but the Pillsbury Doughboy's been staring at me the entire podcast. It's creeping me out.
Oh, yeah. That's old, too. The pig doesn't do anything for you?
Yeah. Like I see the Doughboy and I get the weird, what was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man?
Oh, yeah, from Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Just horrified.
Tim used to collect cookie jars, and that ended at some point. That was one of them.
That's a great collecting hobby, though. Only if they're full.
There's never any cookies. Cookies don't last that long around here.
Why do you collect them? I'm confused.
Just the jar. It's just for decoration. All right.
So
We're
next,
calling it quits.
next one we're gonna get
We'll drag
Lance the Dance
Yeah, Lance. And we'll make somebody join us.
or Goose because
Goose.
he looks for a job.
That's right. The rest of us. But Lance is a willing participant. Goose, I'm not so sure about. But
If there's Miller Lite, Goose will show
Yeah.
up. I don't know if he'll contribute anything to the conversation.
yeah, we can drag it all out to his house.
Yeah.
I like
his
it.
shop.
That's right.
That's where
All the magic
action,
happens.
all the action at his house takes place in the shop.
He goes straight to the shop.
Maybe we can get the other electrician out there.
Maybe. He lives nearby.
He's got more interesting stories than Goose.
Yeah, he has a whole genre we can investigate. This whole trailer park, slumlord thing. That would be interesting to think.
He's one of those people that a lot of people hate. He's a landlord,
Yeah, he is a landlord.
rental fees and stuff like that.
He goes to court a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some nuggets in there. I feel like.
Yeah, we could definitely get him on here and abuse him.
Yeah. All right. Till next time.
All right.